What's up, everybody? Hard Pass, NFL Spotlight, back in the building. I'm, of course, accompanied by Rim Breezy. How you doing, bro?
What it do, man? Let's talk some Indianapolis Colts.
We're going to talk some Colts. Pretty good team. I think they're going to be a pretty good team. They kind of fell flat on their faces at the end of the year. We were kind of on that Colts bandwagon for a while. We're like, dude, this is a good defensive team. This is a good solid. We always said this team was built for the playoffs,
and then didn't make it.
Problem is they just didn't get there.
So the big storyline, of course, for the Colts through this past offseason was moving on after 1 year from Carson Wentz and bringing in Matt Ryan, former league MVP and Atlanta Falcons legend, Matt Ryan. Carson Wentz didn't have an awful year statistically last year. Mm-hmm. It's just the mistakes he made were game-breaking, game-losing mistakes.
You can't lose to Jacksonville, bro.
To teams that you shouldn't lose to when you have a team that looks like this. I mean, this team was stacked. And for them to lose some of those games, I mean, they're squarely on Carson Wentz's shoulders. So they bring in Matt Ryan. Now, I've never been the biggest Matt Ryan guy, but I think it is an upgrade. This has been a position for them since I would say it was a shocking retirement from Andrew Luck that they've kind of just patched year in and year out. And I think, Matt Ryan's going to bring some consistency to that position, which is what I think is going to push them over the edge into becoming a
playoff team.
A playoff team.
And a very good playoff
team. Noise. A team that can make some noise in the postseason.
As you're going to find out when we break down this roster, very talented roster.
Yeah,
they got some ball players on all the levels. Is kind of what you want to see. Mm-hmm. We'll start at quarterback. This quarterback room is actually pretty bonkers.
Yeah.
Like I'm just talking about the depth of Nick Foles as a backup, and we've seen what Sam Ellinger, kind of a bulldozer fullback type quarterback in the preseason. I like this quarterback room.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of Matt Ryan. I think his better years are definitely past him, but he don't have to do too much.
No, I don't. They don't necessarily need MVP Matt Ryan. They just need, like I said, they need consistency out of that position. They're blessed with. I don't think it's. I mean, you can make an argument at the running back position, one or two for Jonathan Taylor, but one of the best running backs and the best young running back in the league. And then star young wide receiver. I mean, it's pretty solidly built team. There are still a couple little holes here and there, but you bring in, like I said, this was a good team last year.
Just add overall
Matt Ryan to it. I think it's
just overall looking at, you want guys at each level.
Yeah.
You got Matt Ryan, you got John Taylor, you got Michael Pittman, you got Quentin Nelson, you got DeForest Buckner, you got Shaquille Leonard, you got Stephon Gilmore. These are top tier guys at every level.
Yeah.
And then you can start filling out the rest of it. I definitely think they have a couple holes, and I think you got to look at their offensive line, and we'll see how that is shaking out. But starting at the QB room, we got to say number one. I think they have the best QB room in the division.
In the division, I will agree. Now, like we talked about earlier, I think there's potential that could change, but just going into the season, I think Matt Ryan's the best quarterback in the division.
Going into the running backs. Now, Jonathan Taylor, what a year this kid had.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew how good he was in college, but oh my goodness gracious, look at these stats.
What a year. And he catches the ball. Yeah, and 40 catches last year.
Yeah.
So
all around,
he is an all-around stud of a running back, and don't sleep on Naheem Hines.
This is the issue, right? I'm gonna say this is the best running back group in this division. You can argue with a draw wall if you want on Jonathan Taylor, and of course the big boy for the Titans.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give
I think
one. I think we'll give the room one.
Yes.
I think Derrick Henry's done it more and done it longer, so I think Derrick Henry's a better running back. But dude, Jonathan Taylor, if he comes back and has a crazy good year, he could easily take that spot. But we're gonna go one at running back too, just because
I like Himes better than what the Titans run out there as their backup. We say all of this. Derrick Henry last year missed half the season. He missed 9 games. He played in 8 games. He missed 9 games. In the 8 games, he had 937 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns.
I mean, unbelievable.
He would have had arguably, and he usually was better in the second half of seasons.
Right.
So without the injury, you're looking at Derrick Henry potentially having another 2,000-yard season with 20 rushing touchdowns. So you take the injury out of it, and I still think Derrick Henry is
a better
running backs in the entire league.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Taylor, I think, is
1B. Number 2 in the league.
Yes.
We're talking about 2 of the best running backs in the entire football league.
So the room as a whole,
I like Nyheim Hines and what he brings to this room. Like you said, he's a special teamer, gadget guy, pass catcher, third down running back kind of dude. And he is a very good compliment to what they have here. So this is why we're giving this room 1. If you're a Titans fan, if you're watching this, don't feel slighted. We think Derrick Henry's still the best. He's the king. Yeah. My man's unbelievable. But, dude, right on his tail is Jonathan Taylor.
Right there.
I mean, right on his ass is Jonathan Taylor. And I will say what helps Jonathan Taylor out in that you can kind of argue whichever you want is he's a little more able to play in the passing downs.
He can catch. Derrick Henry, not a good pass catcher.
Derrick Henry's just a mauler. So what a running back room here, though.
Yeah.
With those two got 1-2 punch. That's a really strong 1-2 punch.
Yep.
And then we go down to the wide receiver. Now there's the issue with this offense. Michael Pittman Jr., unbelievable talent.
Very good
Kid's going to be a stud. He had the most inconsistent quarterback, came out of nowhere. He's already balling out in preseason. He's going to be a bona fide star. Paris Campbell,
not good.
Alec Pierce. The backups are who?
Yeah.
Mo Alley Cox, not like
Pierce is a rookie out of Cincinnati, 2nd-round pick. So there's some hope for him. Paris Campbell's been in the league a couple of years now. We kind of know what Paris Campbell is. He's not very good.
No.
He's just not very good.
He had 10 catches.
He's not very good. And then, of course, the tight end position, Mo Alley Cox, who he has some games he shows some potential where he could be a playmaker, and then he disappears for a couple weeks at a time. And
he's a red zone threat more than anything.
He can catch some touchdowns. Last year, not a great year, 24 catches total, 4 touchdowns. Would have really liked to have seen him take a step forward there. So outside of Pittman, I agree. This is the weakness of the offense is who outside of Pittman's catching the ball. Now, like I said, Taylor and Himes, they're good out of the backfield. Mm-hmm. You've got to have somebody else in that pass catching room that can snag the ball. So we'll see how this pans out. I don't love it.
I'm putting them number 2 in the league, and they're close. They're close with Jacksonville.
And I'm going to put them. So what did we say? We
said Jacksonville 3, and we're going to go Colts 2.
I'm going to go Tennessee 2. I think Tennessee's receivers are better. I'm going to put the Colts at 3 as far as pass catchers.
We have Jags at 3.
Oh, we have Jags at 3. Okay, yeah, never mind. I forgot I don't have the number 1 team in there yet. Yeah. So, Tennessee will be 1. Colts will be 2 as far as pass catchers. Like I said, I think Pittman is maybe the best wide receiver in the entire division.
Oh, he is.
But outside of him,
and then it's probably Brandon Cooks.
Yeah. So we shall see how that passing game looks. But then again, they probably don't need to be passing it a whole bunch.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of play action.
Turn around, hand that ball off.
A lot of pass-friendly downs, 2nd and 3s, 2nd and 4s, 3rd and 1s.
Should be pretty easy offense to run for Matt Ryan.
Right. Go Going into the offensive line, now this was a strong suit for this team for a good little while. This is probably the best offensive lineman in the league. You can argue with Wall on that one once again. I think Quentin Nelson's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's unreal. He's unreal. He is he's special. Looking at the rest of the offensive line, Ryan Kelly, I think, is a good center. He's questionable now, so he's got some injury stuff there. The rest of the offensive line is a little. They need some guys to step up. But they played well last year. Of course, you have an 1,800 yard. You have an 1,800 yard running back. Somebody did their job.
They're just dudes. Nothing great about it. They did what they had to do. They were clearly blocking. If you have an 1,800,
they were clearly blocking.
But I think this offensive line is a little bit worse than the Jaguars' offensive line from top to bottom. It's close. I mean, it's right there. Can almost go 2A, 2B. But I'm going to say they're the third best offensive line in this division.
I agree. But
they're workmanlike. I don't think that'll be a problem.
I think you can still expect another probably 1,600 yards out of Jonathan Taylor if he's healthy. So
now looking at
any day.
Looking at this D line.
Now they run a 4-3.
They run a 4-3. They have two studs on this D line. DeForest Buckner is one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. And Yannick, he's kind of bounced around a good little bit.
Yes.
He is still good. Like, he's still very productive.
Yep. He's a very productive pass rusher. And then they've got a lot of hope for Kwity Paye coming into year 2. So, or it might be what I think. Didn't he miss his rookie year? Or is this year 3 for him or year 2?
He was drafted. So, yes.
So year 2. Year 2 for Kwity Paye. So they have some hopes for him. He's number 21 overall pick. So this D-line is solid. This D-line's very solid. I mean, Yannick, we know at this point, I mean, he's a pass rush specialist. That's his thing. Like you said, though, DeForest Buckner is one of the best players in the league. So I like this D-line. I like it.
I'm going 1.
I think it's 1 as well.
I think it's the best D-line.
I think it is in this division. It is 1. I mean, in all fairness, you've got 2 of the absolute worst in the entire league in this division.
Literally, probably the last 2.
The last 2.
In the Texans and Jaguars.
This one's good. I like this one.
This one's good. This one's got players on it. Linebackers. Now, it's probably the best linebacker in the league.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, Darius Leonard is now Shaquille Leonard. He went to
South Carolina State. He is unbelievable to watch play football.
I, to this day, say he's still the most underrated, maybe the most underrated player in the entire league. He is the best linebacker in football. And year in and year out, I don't think he gets the honest respect he deserves. He is unreal how good he is.
Sideline to sideline. Sick in the passing downs, can make plays. He's just a playmaker. He literally does everything.
Sacks, picks, forced fumbles. I mean, he does it all. And then you look at Okereke from last year.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere, 132 tackles last year. Really good young linebacker out of Stanford. Got to be pretty happy with his linebacking core. Now,
I think it's 2.
Zaire Franklin,
this is a guy
probably hoping he doesn't see the field a whole lot. Probably want to run a lot of nickel. But between Okereke and Shaq Leonard, this is a pretty good linebacker.
Shaq Leonard don't come off the field. No. He don't come off the field. He plays rundowns, passing downs, any kind of downs. He is on the field. I'm gonna go 2 here because we really like the Jaguars backers. Their backers are more of the rush. So they're more talented. They're going to get more stats. So we have to give them, of course, because they run a 3-4. So we say we're going to go 2 at the backers. What do you say about that?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Now, we're going to get into Tennessee a little later. Tennessee's got a pretty good linebacking core, too.
Yeah.
But when you have Shaq
the
Leonard,
best linebacker,
and you throw in Okereke, who's no slouch, I mean, that fits. That's second best.
Okay, then we go into the secondary. They got Stephon Gilmore. Now, Stephon Gilmore plays a lot of slot, made some shit happen. He's getting up there in age. He's still a playmaker. Kenny Moore.
Kenny Moore had 4 picks last year.
Pretty solid year. He's a decent quarter. He's a decent corner. Nick Cross, Julian Blackman. You know, these are solid guys. Nick Cross is a solid player, solid safety.
I like the corners, the 1-2 combo at the corner.
Yeah.
The safety room's got some stuff to prove. Gilmore is the big question mark here. If Gilmore can go back to being a number 1 corner, then this room will be fine. If he, when he, in all fairness, when he joined the Panthers last year, he looked pretty good. I mean, like I said, he's more slot now than he is outside corner.
He's still a ball player. He's still
good.
He's still going to be good. I don't know. I'm leaning 2. I'm saying the Titans have a better secondary. I just think their safety.
I agree with that. I
think the Titans have a better secondary, but 2 is not a bad spot to be in here for the Colts. The Colts are going to be a damn good football team.
Yeah, they're going to be a good team.
We're looking here.
This is a good team.
The QB room 1, running back room 1, pass catching 2, O-line 3, D-line 1, backers 2, secondary 2. This is a good ass football team.
Yeah, it's a good team.
So
I think this team wins the division.
I think this team also wins the division. How we've been recorded in the past is we record it up until, how we think it's like. But I kind of messed this one up because I think the Colts actually edge out the Titans. I think the Titans regress a little bit from where they were at.
I think it's a close race.
I think it's probably by a game or 2.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. What's our win total for the Colts?
I think that this will be, so they play 17 now. I'm stuck between 12 and 13.
I'm 11 and 12. So let's go 12 then.
12. I think 12 and 5 is a good record. I think it's good enough to win this division.
Yeah, and I think we'll give you the Titans, but the Titans are right nipping on the heels. The Titans were like a 13-win team. They were 14. They were up there. Yeah. They're not going to go back.
I mean, they were the 1 seed last year. Titans were number 1 seed in the AFC. Didn't pan out too well for them, but I do agree. I think the Titans take a little step back. I think the Colts take a step forward, and I think the Colts overtake them.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We have high hopes for the Indianapolis Colts. I'm looking forward to watching. I enjoy watching this football team. I enjoy watching both sides of the ball.
They run the ball. They play defense. I love old school football like that. Can't wait. And I've been high on Jonathan Taylor since day 1.
You have been.
I think he's a stud. I'm glad to see he finally got a chance to prove it last year. And look forward to more of it this year. Hope he just stays healthy.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. NFL Spotlight Colts. We're coming next with the Titans. I appreciate it. Later.